Hey, what's up everyone, Aintorn here. Welcome to another devlog video on my next game. In case you didn't see the last video, please do check it out. I explain the concept of the game, what it's gonna turn into, all the mechanics. So please do check that out. So what I did this week was work on some slopes. So you can actually see these new slope tiles and you can walk on top of them. I also added the slope tiles in the editor, so you can select this slope tile and then you can paint like this, make a slope, make it as high as you want. Still doesn't work perfectly, but works well enough. So what's the point of the slopes, you might think? Well, it just makes it a bit easier to progress vertically. So instead of making the player jump, I can actually show you, instead of having a wall like this where the player has to jump up. It's kind of annoying, right? To have to jump up. So you can actually use the slope to make it a bit easier to progress vertically. You can just walk up. Now, another thing that I implemented that goes hand in hand with the slopes is you can actually slide. You can duck like this, and if you're moving, you will slide along. So you can actually slide down the slopes. So that will be not only fun, but it will also give you some more speed. So if there's a bunch of slopes, you can just slide down. And eventually I want to make it so that you can use it to get a really high jump. Right now it doesn't work yet. Still have to implement some of the physics for that. But you get the point. So instead of just jumping from here to here, you would actually be able to slide down here, jump all the way up this platform. But yeah, it doesn't work yet. That still needs some work. But at least the physics are getting along, so you can actually slide up like this and you can slide back down. Now there is one pretty annoying bug. Maybe you already noticed, but if you slide down, there's actually a single frame where the player becomes airborne. It's pretty hard to catch, so I'll try to play it in slow motion here so you can see. And what that does actually, when you slide, when you walk and you release, you stop instantaneously. But when you slide, there's a lot less friction, so you move along further. So when you slide down the slope right here and you become airborne, that single frame, you actually get back the friction from the normal walk. So that kind of hinders the speed. So once you hit this transition, you get a bit of friction, so you don't retain your speed as well. So that's an important thing I need to fix before I move on to the physics where you launch up out of the slope. Now the slope collision detection is pretty difficult. So this is one of those bugs. It can either take me 5 minutes to fix, might be a super easy fix, or it's something I will spend hours or even a day or two on. Since I have to get back into the collision code, need to wrap my head around it. It's been a while since I made it, so I need to first get into the math of the collision detection so I actually understand it, and then I have to pinpoint the exact cause. So what might be causing this? It happens here in the transition, so something must be happening over there, so I have to investigate what actually causes this. So this is one of those really annoying bugs that, yeah, you just want it to work but it doesn't, so I have to spend some time fixing that. At least it's easy to reproduce. I can get it to work at least half of the time, so that's a plus. If it would be something that happened only one in every 100 tries, it would be a lot harder to fix. So yeah, that's it on slopes. Let me know what you think. Is it a fun addition? Do you have any cool suggestions, things I could do with the slopes? Let me know.
A few moments later.
So I thought I'd take you guys along as I fix the bug with the slopes. I know it might be kind of boring, but I want to show you guys all the aspects of making a game, including the boring bug stuff. So I can put on debug mode and you can see a whole lot of information, but you just need to pay attention to this green line, green yellowish line, I guess, from the center of the player to the bottom of the player. That's the precision used to check sloped tile collision. So you can actually see this exact point is where the player is placed on the slope. And if I stand on a normal tile, then the game knows, oh, we're not standing on a slope, so just do the regular tile collision, which is just two rectangles against each other. It's actually called axis-aligned bounding boxes, which basically means non-rotated rectangles. So if you want to find out more about that type of collision detection, you can Google that and you will find a lot of tutorials. So the problem was, if you go down here, then the player becomes airborne. So we can use all these debug info to get a better idea of where the origin of the problem lies. So I'm also going to put a breakpoint here. A breakpoint is basically a point that if the game executes this specific line of code, then it will actually pause and you can inspect all the values in the code. So, oh yeah, and I should mention, of course, this specific line is the line that actually places the player in the airborne state. So whenever this line is executed, the player will become airborne, which is our problem. It will become airborne when we reach this area. So let's slide down and you can see, yeah, the breakpoint was reached. So that means that the player is now airborne. So now we can use this info, all the debug info, to guess, I guess, what the problem might be. You don't know for sure, you just have to guess first. So yeah, you can see that this green line is actually not pointing on the slope anymore. It's pointing 1 pixel left of the slope to a normal tile. So what that means is the game thinks we are not on the tile anymore, on the slope tile, sorry, to the right here of the player. But we can also see that there's a gap between this tile and the player. So there's neither a sloped collision, at least that's what the game thinks, and there's not a normal tile collision either. So if there's no collisions, then we must be in the air. That's what the game thinks. So we know now what the game is thinking is incorrect and we need to fix that. So my solution is, at least the solution I will try, is check the sides of the player as well, the bottom side points. For this case specifically the right side, because we can see that that's actually still in the slope. And hopefully then we can fix this bug. But there's also a chance that you introduce new problems, which is always really annoying aspect of fixing bugs. You might fix one, but then new problems arise, and then you fix that one, then a new one arises, and you just keep going. It's no fun. Bug fixing is no fun, but it's a necessary evil. So I'm gonna try that right now, and hopefully it will be fixed, and I'll let you know.
Several days later.
So I pretty much ended up working on the slopes the entire week. There were still a lot of bugs that would pop up, and then I would fix the bug, and then a new one would pop up, and it just didn't work. So I just threw away the existing code and rewrote the slope collision from scratch. It was my first time implementing slopes, so the first time around I made a lot of mistakes and a lot of flaws in the logic, and I learned from the mistakes I made last time, and now there's a lot more manageable implementation of the slope collision detection. I can, if I ever need to add anything, I can hop into the code a lot easier, so even if I threw away a lot of work, it was still a better choice in the long run, since if I ever need to get back into the code, I can understand what's going on a lot quicker. So the slopes are working almost as they were. There's still a bug here at the edge, so I never actually did manage to fix that, but I did fix the other bugs that would pop up if you would run up the slope, jump a lot, you would clip through the slope. That's fixed. Also, the player doesn't stick to the slope, so if you run, you will fall down, and you actually want the player to stick to the slope unless you're jumping. So I still need to fix that. Probably next week I will end up working on the slopes as well. It's holidays, so I won't have as much time. I hope I can get it done before next week. And in case I can't finish it, I want to show you guys the editor next week, so you can see all the features. I didn't show all the features yet, so that might be interesting to you. So I wanted to highlight some of the comments you guys made on the first video. I think that might be fun to do at the end of every devlog. So Cindy suggested to add a special meter to the game that you can fill up with combos, and then you can use that special meter to jump higher. I think that's a pretty cool mechanic. I actually tried to make something similar where you fill up a meter and then you can use that meter to boost, but I didn't end up liking that so much, since the game kinda turned into a racing game. It just went way too fast and was getting hard to execute the tricks, and I want to focus more on the tricks, making cool lines and being creative with the level. But the higher jump might be a nice alternative, so there might be a high platform somewhere in the stage that you can only reach with the jump, so then you know, when I reach this area of the stage, I need to have my special meter filled up so I can get up that platform, get a secret star or secret objective or a secret something, I don't know what might be up there. But it will give the player some encouragement to do well until that point of the stage, and then they will get a reward. So yeah, thanks for the comments, guys. It was really nice seeing all your feedback and mechanics that you're thinking of, and it's just nice to see you guys think along with me. I'm just a solo developer, so I'm always by myself. I never really have anyone to talk about my game, and it's nice to have some people around to talk about the game, someone that can give me feedback as well, since there's no one to point me out to the flaws or the mistakes. So yeah, don't be afraid to be harsh. There were some people that said, I don't like this game at all, looks stupid, looks like Mario. I think that's not bad at all. Just say what you think. If you think the game sucks, just tell me. I can handle some criticism, and when I work alone on a game for a long time, I really turn blind to its flaws. So just point it out. Don't be afraid to hurt me. Just don't use any bad words or anything like that. Yeah. So thanks for watching, and see you again next time, hopefully.